사실은 just keep me entertained. Blame it on my ADHD. I can't focus on you lately. I want you to know you haven't been on my mind. You gotta keep trying, 이러다 놓쳤나. Blame it on my ADHD. Did you say you wanna date me? 나 생각보다 그렇게 착하지 않아. 너뿐이라고 거짓말한 건 미안해. I really didn't know how I felt about you. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be with you. 나 생각보다 그렇게 착하지 않아. 너뿐이라고 거짓말한 건 미안해. I really didn't know how I felt about you. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be with you. I shouldn't be with you. I shouldn't be with you. 요즘에 우리 연락이 뜸해졌어. Funny how we both don't wanna get by. 우리 아무 사이도 아닌데 네 사진 보고 있는 내 모습이 한심해. 난 초초도 못 본 척할래. Don't repeat caption trying to play. 너 진짜 모르니 내 맘 갖고 놀지 마. 재미없어 사실은 말하는 널 기다리고 있어. 하루 종일 온통 baby I want you. 상처받을까봐 널 잃을까봐. Sorry I want to but I can't give my all. 나 생각보다 그렇게 착하지 않아. 너뿐이라고 거짓말한 건 미안해. I really didn't know how I felt about you. Honestly I probably shouldn't be with you. 내 생각보다 그렇게 착하지 않아. 너뿐이라고 거짓말한 건 미안해. I really didn't know how I felt about you. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be with you. I shouldn't be with you. I shouldn't be with you.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, August the 13th. I'm Teddy, and you are listening to MessyMocha. So come on in, grab a cup, and let's sip this morning's news up. Truth is, plus, yes, analyze this at Unwine with Teddy. Fair use commentary, as always. This broadcast is for education, criticism, news reporting, and entertainment purposes only. Shout out to the mob, all my other bears, I call the Grizzlies, and to our moderators, Baby Juju and Vicky Black. Welcome back. Who is joining me? Someone with a new avatar. All right, so I didn't have much time to put up the good morning and all of that, but maybe I will at some point. But good morning. Yes, please hit the like on your way in. Good morning. Who is Aries, the Emperor? All right. Well, good morning and welcome to the Bear Cave. Yeah. Also, welcome to Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, and here on YouTube. I've got to go back live again on X. I mentioned that they've changed the streaming Used to be where, you could just stream over to X your lives. Now you have to at least be, I think it's a premium member, and I could do that, and I will do that. Yes, because I think it's important, especially with this election coming up. I have a lot of followers over there, or I'll just say people when I've been live that like to listen on X. Speaking of X, last night, Elon Musk and Donald Trump were together on Elon Musk X platform. All right. Or actually, yeah, it is his platform, social media. And for the first 40 minutes or so, Elon Musk and X had problems because the system had crashed. There were so many millions and millions and millions of people watching, waiting for him to go live with the former president. After listening to a little bit more of it from last night, this morning, and from hearing a number of commentaries on it and news media, people are in agreement for the most part. It sounds like a conversation between, two friends, two buddies. What do they call them? Calling them now a bromance. A bromance. Yeah, well, Vice President Kamala Harris had some things to say about it. And while it's on CNN, I'm looking at Fox right now. Kamala Harris's campaign criticizes Trump for serving self obsessed rich guys after interview with Elon Musk. So were they peddling to the billionaires and the millionaires? I think it wasn't as clear from Elon Musk's response about, well, it was clear why he decided to support Donald Trump, all right, as our next president. But he has been a moderate for the most part, he said. Plus, he wasn't really into politics. He's into his space program. He's into his electric cars. He's into Tesla, all of these Tesla, and his own empire. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about what Musk said after the interview, that he would also be happy to host Vice President Harris on X Spaces. That's where it was, on X Spaces. And also the former President Donald Trump, he had his site up on X as well. Okay. So would you like to see that? I would like to see that equal billing. I would love to see Vice President Kamala Harris sit down like Donald Trump did last night with Elon Musk. He didn't really seem that bad of a, he threw a lot of softball questions, and it was more like, even at the end, the two of them didn't want to hang up the phone. I think that's how it was described. It's like, who says goodbye first, right? So Vice President Kamala Harris' presidential campaign is blasting former President Trump's interview with billionaire Elon Musk, saying Trump's campaign is in service of self obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class. Trump joined Musk on X Spaces, a live audio chat feature on X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter, for an interview Monday night, although it had a shaky start due to technical difficulties. Millions of people ultimately listened to the interview, according to the live tracker throughout the discussion, and that's what it was. Someone put it like this: Donald Trump sound like a grumpy old man. Like a grumpy old man. Musk said in a post after the interview that he would also be happy to host Harris on X Spaces. During Monday's interview, Musk gave Trump ample time to explain, speaking of which, it ran just over 2 hours, time to explain his stance on various issues such as immigration, the assassination attempt he survived at a campaign rally last month, inflation, and the idea of eliminating the Department of Education to allow states authority over school systems. This is a quote. I want to close up the Department of Education, move education back to the states. Of the 50 states, I would bet that 35 would do great. And 15 of them, or 20 of them, will be as good as Norway. Norway is considered great, Trump said, adding that deep blue states like California may struggle if the department is eliminated. What is he trying to say in that one? The Harris campaign hit Trump following the interview for the policy proposals the former president touched on and took a jab over the technical difficulties the X space endured. Donald Trump's extremism and dangerous project 2025 agenda is a feature, not a glitch, of his campaign, which was on full display for those unlucky enough to listen in tonight during whatever that was on X.com. Harris's campaign spokesperson, Joseph Costello, said in a statement, Trump's entire campaign is in service of people like Elon Musk and himself, self obsessed rich guys who will sell out the middle class and who cannot run a live stream in the year 2024. So, kind of making, a little poke at what happened. They were all ready for this, to start at 8 o'clock, and it didn't go as smoothly. And I think it may have, at least initially, once they were able to come up live or go live, it just kind of, threw it off just a little bit. The initiative offers, by the way, the 2025 right wing policy recommendations for Trump should he win the presidency, including replacing civil service employees and Trump's loyalists, abolishing the Department of Education, criminalizing pornography, eliminating DEI programs, cutting funding for Medicaid and Medicare, rejecting abortion as healthcare, and infusing the government with Christian values. I read something yesterday. It's an aside. Give me a minute to pull it up. Let me see if I can find a clip of it. Hang on. It's all over the place. Let me read your comments before I pull. You know what? Maybe I will, since I spent this time looking for it, let me just tell you what Michigan legislation just recently passed, and they're waiting for the Senate to approve. It was bipartisan here in Michigan, and it was covered on all different media platforms. This is from June 13th of this year. Michigan lawmakers pass deep fake pornography ban. It can be and will become, I believe, a law punishable by up to 3 years in prison and heavy fines. This is exactly what I hope our governor, Whitmer, signs into law. I can't wait. I am following this closely because if this becomes a law, okay, I will absolutely have a case against Danielle Robertson for her creation of deep fake pornography utilizing my image. You see how I just snuck that right in? Now we're going to go back to the news. You see how it can tie in? So criminalizing pornography, it's kind of on its way. Criminalizing people who create deep fake pornography, it's on its way. It's on its way. It's on its way. And I cannot wait. Yes, this is why I want to find this individual, because it's not just me who this happens to, okay? There's a number of people who have been violated, sexually violated by people who create deep fake pornography. I want it to be clear and I want it to be loud and clear, okay? Now, let me go back. That's right. I name names. And yes, it's personal. It is. Because those images are up right now and being distributed. And anyone who is involved in the distribution, they will also be named. Okay, now let me come out to your comments and I will get into a little bit more of today's news. You see, that's part of the truth is plus today's news. Okay. Let me go up to the top. And yes, you can follow me on Unwine with Teddy, all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Station Head, X, Twitch, and Discord. Aries, good morning, says, I'm a new subscriber. I love to listen to your channel and commentary. I really just love to listen to you talk. You have a great radio voice. It's soothing. Thank you, Aries. All right. Jennifer Love Spewitt, good morning, says that entire interview was a mess. From tech glitches to Trump sounding like Daffy Duck to Trump rambling and Elon not knowing how to control an interview. Especially, like at the end, I would say maybe about 30 minutes or so before it ended. But yeah, I agree all along. You're not the only person who may have observed that the way he was speaking or his voice, did it sound different to you? I'm talking about Trump, Donald Trump. Yeah. So I agree. And what is this? Look at the stats. The school systems that rank the lowest are in red states, not blue states. That's how Republicans want it, to keep people dumb. Trump said he loves the uneducated. No, yes, uneducated. I was just about to say undereducated. Hmm. Jennifer says Trump wanting to ban porn when he literally banged a porn star. LOL. Uh, you know, there's enough to go around, isn't there? And I just wonder what would be the makeup, the exact wording of that, you know. And what is it? Is it going to come down to the states? Yes. Or is there going to be some federal? How is it going to be uh, regulated, controlled? Mm, so there will probably be a lot of variables in that law if somebody writes it. I don't know. Okay. Let's see. You go on to say criminalizing it for consenting parties and adults is not on its way. No, that is correct. That is correct. Consenting, even in the way that the law was written here in Michigan, okay, passed by the House, okay, it is for non consenting, okay. You say criminalizing it for consenting parties and adults is not on its way. Revenge porn and the creation of using AI or imposition of images is and should be. Is and should be. Yes, it should be. Okay. I agree. I agree. It should be. Because people are not consenting. And now with the technology, it's just so easy. And I I pulled up a video on YouTube yesterday. I don't think I'll play it much, but let me just see if I can look at my history and tell you how it relates to what you are. Let's see. My history. Here it is. Now I could play music, or I could quickly look. That's what I'm doing. Oh, yes, here it is.
If you're creating deepfake porn of your teacher, what is that doing to you mentally? How are you viewing women and girls in real life? To think that someone could be sat at home getting sexual gratification from that content, it genuinely feels like a real life assault. There is so many more victims out there who don't know yet that their digital footprint has been altered forever.
So, yes, there is this person who is, talking about this subject and talks about how it's created.
Is an image or video that has been created using artificial intelligence. It consists of putting someone else's face onto someone else's body. Traditionally, deepfake porn did target celebrities because you needed a lot of images or videos of people to make a deepfake look realistic. But nowadays, the technology is much better, where you literally need one image to create a deepfake porn video or image of someone. And also, the everyday person uses apps like TikTok and posts loads of videos of their face as well. So that content is now out there to be created. Traditionally, deepfake videos and images were pretty difficult to make because you did need to know specific coding. That has changed so much just in the last 2 years, whereas now there are nudification apps online. There are apps available in the Apple App Store where you can create deepfake images and videos that are of a sexually explicit nature.
So, do you see how these applications, as she's mentioning, are out there, where it takes the person's face and then puts it on someone else's body? And this is exactly what Danny Robertson of YouTube has done. She's taken my image, she's cropped it, and she's put it on nude bodies in very sexually uh, explicit images, which someone who could be gratifying themselves. All right? So it's humiliating. And I am so happy that it's getting a louder voice. Okay? Because I'm certainly affected by it, as this woman and other.
Just by the click of a button. To think that this technology is in the hands of every single person who has access to the internet, that's a really terrifying thought. Some stuff that I saw online was people requesting deepfakes of their sister so that they can use that to blackmail them, requesting deepfakes of family members, of their teachers, try and blackmail them to get money, but also the humiliation of it. Men who are requesting other users to send the deepfakes that they have created to the victim, and then they all kind of laugh about it. But an overriding part of it is the sexual gratification, because with a click of the button, you can literally see anyone you want in a porn film without their consent. We really can't play down the real life consequences this has. There has been stories of people feeling suicidal because people don't know how to respond.
You heard her. People don't know how to respond. It's humiliating. Even some have, sadly, committed suicide over these. All right? It's real. It's not a game. And it's a weapon that is used to abuse, humiliate, control, dominate victims. And they are victims. And I am a victim of deep fake pornography. So, for all the naysayers and the door knockers who say I'm not a victim and I'm faking a victim, playing victim, ask yourself if you'd want your wife, your girlfriend, your daughter, your sister, your mother, your grandmother image to be used in this way. Well, you don't have to ask, because legislation is being enacted. Okay.
When this image is going in every corner of the internet, and there's other experiences or cases that we've seen across the world where cultures are different, where people, unfortunately, teenagers have actually taken their own life because they have been deep-faked and then that has been used to blackmail them. The distribution of deepfake porn being an offence is a huge, huge step in trying to change the behaviour that exists and the culture that exists online. But for me, I think the law's really there to...
You see, it is a culture, a subculture. It is a behavior. It's abhorrent. It's deviant.
deterrent to say to people, actually, this is a crime. The distribution does have a maximum 2-year sentence, and I think that is really important because you are, as I say, altering someone's digital footprint forever. And I think we really need to look at the culture that allows technologies like this to thrive. Education is a really key part in this, and actually listening and speaking to young men and boys is a huge part because they have to be part of the conversation.
So this is from the Ministry of Justice YouTube. It was published on May 8th of this year. And yeah, go check it out. Go check out any of other videos that they might have on their YouTube. Okay, so now let me get back to these questions. You see, you just never know how it's going to go over here. This is part of it. Here we go. Let's get rid of that. And continue down with these questions. Okay. Hashtag we stand with Teddy. Love Win says D for Dunce. You hear that? Michigan ban on deep fake porn. Yes, it's coming. Let's continue talking about today's news. Elon Musk. Jennifer says, there are actual scammers who use this to prey on people online, including children. Some for monetary gain, you heard that. And some used by sexual predators as blackmail to get them to meet their abuser. And I have heard that. Again, control, dominance, power, coercion, and fear, especially in young adults, who are online, and they don't know that their images are being used until they're contacted by one of these people who do this in the dark. Vicky Black says, don't dirty deletes now. Oh no. I don't care what they scrub. I don't care how many blocks they put on websites. I have enough evidence. So you can scrub. I sure do. And I have enough evidence of an exchange with others. Yeah, I'm not playing either. Y'all think I'm playing. I'm not playing. Yes, it's the best news. Okay. Yes, because she boasts, you don't have a case. You don't have a case. You don't have a case against me. Oh, I will have a case. That's not all of it. But if they enact and put it in where we will get a 5587 MB, something signed into law by our governor, Gretchen Whitmer, then I'm going to tell you to march right on up to Lansing. I sure am. Remember what I said. Y'all can all march up to Lansing. And when that becomes law, keep on marching. Y'all can circle around the Capitol. And talk to the governor about it. And those of you who live here in Michigan, get ready. Maybe you want to go and talk to your governor too. Okay. All right. What else is in the news? Jennifer says in some states, even using cookies or other IP tracking means intimidation or harassment is against the law. Digital footprints can't be erased. Okay. Digital footprints can't be erased. D for dirty delete. Dirty delete, messy receipts, and when this information has been put up and it's clicked on and people go to the sites and they click on it and look at it and then they hit share, all of that's there too. So sharing and laughing and making fun behind the scenes and changing the images and breaking the law to get these images. Yeah. See, they don't put that up on their posts when they talk about the judge. Okay. I digress. Let's see. No, I didn't deserve this harassment, and neither do the other victims of this deep fake pornography. That's what it is. This is for education. That's why I call it what it is. I do. Okay. Okay. So, more on the news. As I was looking at Fox talking about Elon Musk, all right, and this initiative, this right wing policy recommendations, the 2025, should Trump win the presidency. Okay. Trump has sought to distance himself from the initiative, which has been criticized as being an authoritarian and Christian nationalist plan that would undermine civil liberties, saying he knows nothing about it. That parts of it are absolutely ridiculous and abysmal, and that its backers are on the radical right. Well, Monday marked Trump's return to X after nearly a year of not posting on social media platforms, posting a series of campaign ads prior to the interview with Musk. Before Musk purchased X in 2022, Trump was suspended from the platform following the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot when the platform was still known as Twitter. But even after Musk reinstated his account, Trump's only post was sharing his mugshot in August of last year. This country is going down, and these people are bad people that we're running against. And they're liars. They make statements. They do bad things. They say they're going to make a strong border. They say there've been a great border. They say this and that, but they've been the worst in history. This is Trump. They say they'll stop crime. Trump says no. She is considered more liberal by far than Bernie Sanders. She's a radical left lunatic, says Trump, speaking of Kamala Harris. And if she's going to be our president, very quickly, you're not going to have a country anymore, and she'll go back to all the things she believes in. She believes in defunding the police. She believes in no fracking, zero fracking. Trump added of Harris. Okay. Also, Trump addressed President Biden's decision to exit or suspend his reelection campaign last night, saying it was a Democratic coup that was pressured by others to have him step aside. Biden's decision came amid pressure from Democrats to drop out of the race over concerns about his mental acuity. Like mentioning, for example, well, what happened 1 week before that happened? People were saying in the Democratic Party, he can do this. He can be our next president. And then a week later or 2 weeks later, or whenever it occurred, then he's not fit. Now, did anyone hear any Democratic leader say specifically that President Biden was not fit to serve? Or was that just simply the other side who were making, comments just like that? Okay. What else? So that's a lot on Elon Musk. Let me just look at the time here. Wow. Why don't I do this? I'll play the 5 things and then I'll come back. We'll open it up for questions, read the mail. Do what I do at the end. All right. Voters' attention, hotter American summers, WNBA star suing, and more.
Hello from CNN, I'm Jo Beck, with the 5 things you need to know for Tuesday, August 13th. Now that the 2024 presidential race is looking extremely tight, Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are focusing in on policy and trying to get voters' attention. Last night, former President Trump made a return to X after not posting on the site for nearly a year and sat down with its owner, Elon Musk, to talk about his campaign.
Not all endorsements mean that much, to be honest. Your endorsement meant a lot.
Harris is scheduled to be back on the campaign trail on Thursday, where she's expected to be joined by President Joe Biden. CNN's Kristen Holmes says this is their first joint campaign appearance since Biden announced he was dropping out of the race.
Now, it's going to be interesting to watch how Kamala Harris navigates this, because on one hand, she, of course, is going to want to stand next to the man who essentially put her at the top of the ticket, who made her vice president. But yet, at the same time, she has already tried to distance herself from some of his more unpopular policy decisions, particularly around immigration or inflation and crime. We also know Republicans are seeking to tie her to Joe Biden in a negative way. So she's really going to have to walk this fine line.
Russia's President Vladimir Putin is promising to kick Ukrainian troops out of his country. Kyiv says its forces now control nearly 400 square miles of Russian territory after a surprise cross-border incursion last week. But at a meeting with top officials yesterday, Putin said he believed the operation had more to do with Ukraine's bargaining position.
It appears that the enemy, with the help of his Western masters, is fulfilling their will, and the West is fighting us with the hands of the Ukrainians.
Putin also claims Ukrainian forces have struck civilians and civilian infrastructure, but CNN can't independently verify that. Summers in the US are getting hotter and longer as human-caused climate change turbocharges temperatures. And it's feeling even more intense in cities, where more than 260 million Americans live. We asked CNN's Bill Weir which places are getting hit the worst.
Joe, of the 50 biggest cities in the U.S., 47 of them have seen a generational jump in very hot days. For example, in the mid-70s, San Antonio could count on 1 week of scorching temperatures 95 degrees or hotter, but last year brought 13 weeks over 95. But the 3 hottest cities are all in Arizona, where Phoenix had 158 scorching days last year, and heat-related deaths have more than quadrupled in Maricopa County in just 7 years. In the age of climate crisis, on an overheating planet, it's also important to remember that these could be some of the coolest years of the rest of our lives.
There are renewed fears of ethnic cleansing in Myanmar after reports of a deadly drone attack. Witnesses and activists tell CNN that last week a series of drone strikes hit civilians fleeing fighting and violence in their villages. They say the displaced families belonged to the stateless Rohingya community and had been waiting to cross a river to Bangladesh when the attack happened. Social media videos geolocated by CNN showed dozens of bodies strewn across the muddy banks, while unverified reports put the death toll at about 200 people. A powerful ethnic armed group fighting the military in the country's civil war has been blamed for the attack, but they deny any involvement. A WNBA star is suing her former team and the league. We'll tell you why next. Three-time All-Star De'Arica Hamby is suing the WNBA and her former team for discrimination and unlawful retaliation. A PR firm hired by the basketball players' lawyers says the suit accuses the Las Vegas Aces of treating Hamby unfairly because she was pregnant. It claims the pregnancy was why Hamby was subjected to, quote, repeated acts of intimidation, discrimination, and retaliation, and then traded in January 2023 to the Los Angeles Sparks. A WNBA spokesperson says it's reviewing the complaints, and the team has not replied to CNN's request for comment. That's all for now. Our next episode drops at noon Eastern.
I used to think the world of you, but somewhere down the line, we changed and we grew and we fell out of touch as time goes by. Still I'm holding on to you. I know that it's time for me to let you go. I know that it's time for us to part, though it breaks my heart. Baby, it's time for me to face the truth and say it out loud. I don't know you anymore. I don't know you anymore. Like I used to do before anymore. We used to be inseparable. I used to stand by you. Now I'm only holding on to a bittersweet memory of you. Oh, I wish it wasn't true. I know that it's time for me to let you go. I know that it's time for us to part, though it breaks my heart. Baby, it's time for me to face the truth and say it out loud. I don't know you anymore. I don't know you anymore. Like I used to do before anymore. I used to think the world of you. Somewhere down the line, we change and we grow and we fall out of touch as time goes by. Oh, still I'm holding on to you. I know that it's time for me to let you go. I know that it's time for us to part, though it breaks my heart. Baby, it's time for me to face the truth and say it out loud. I don't know you anymore. I don't know you anymore. I don't know you anymore. Like I used to anymore.
All right. So Baby Juju says, Jen, I hope a certain evangelist wasn't the author. Okay. I pulled up Jennifer Love Spewitt just sent this Facebook. Where is it? I have it here in the background. Okay. I'm not sure because I haven't listened to it. I don't know how long it is. Maybe Jennifer, you can put in the chat. Is this something that you think we might be interested in hearing this morning? Because this is the time, I read my emails and that we might glean some information about it. This is on Jeff. It says Oster. Here, the Facebook, let me just, right there on the side. Okay. And Jennifer says he's speaking. Let me go back to your comment so I can throw it up. Right here. Jennifer says, I'm Wine with Teddy. I sent you a video. This is a pastor talking about true Christianity versus Christian nationalism and how nationalism is against the teachings of Jesus. Okay. Hang on. All right. So I threw out a link for Jennifer if you want to come up and take a minute or two. If you've listened to it and just give us a synopsis, or I'll go ahead and play it and then you can summarize it, or I can do so. And or you can just answer the question, why was this so important? And what did you get out of this? You say it's less than 5 minutes. I think it would be good to listen to. So why don't we go ahead and listen to it? All right. This is fair use commentary. This is for education and our learning. Let's see what we can get out of this. I'll put up the banner. No, I'll just leave it like this. Wait a minute. Sorry. Leave it like that. Here we go. And I don't have Facebook muted. Let's go for it.
My granddad was a Baptist preacher. I've been a member of this church since I was 2 years old. And now I'm in seminary studying to become a minister myself. My faith means more to me than anything. But if I'm being very honest, sometimes I hesitate before telling someone I'm a Christian. There is a cancer on our religion. Until we confess the sin that is Christian nationalism and exorcise it from our churches, our religion can do a lot more damage than a six-pack of Lone Star. There is nothing Christian about Christian nationalism. It is the worship of power, social power, economic power, political power in the name of Christ. And it is a betrayal of Jesus of Nazareth. He told us we would know them by their fruits. Jesus includes, Christian nationalism excludes. Jesus liberates, Christian nationalism controls. Jesus saves, Christian nationalism kills. Jesus started a universal movement based on mutual love. Christian nationalism is a sectarian movement based on mutual hate. Jesus came to transform the world. Christian nationalism is here to maintain the status quo. They have co-opted the Son of God. They've turned this humble rabbi into a gun-toting, gay-bashing, science-denying, money-loving, fear-mongering fascist. And it is incumbent upon all Christians to confront it and denounce it.
Amen.
How did this happen? The first followers of Jesus didn't call themselves Christians. They called themselves the Way. Their crucified teacher taught them a different way of being human, and they intended to follow it. The early church was a revolutionary community built on radical love, a peculiar people who shared all their possessions and refused to participate in the economy, the military, or the culture. The book of Acts tells us that the first Christians were persecuted for turning the world upside down. But 300 years after Jesus was executed by the Roman Empire, Emperor Constantine made Christianity the official state religion of that very same empire. Constantine was the first Christian nationalist. Pro-war, pro-wealth, pro-white supremacy. That original countercultural movement became a tranquilized, privatized, weaponized religion, the official sponsor of Western civilization. A religion of sharing became a religion of greed. A religion of peace became a religion of violence. A religion of forgiveness became a religion of judgment. A religion of ego transformation became a religion of ego affirmation. Today, Christian nationalists obsess over people's private parts while the planet burns. The Bible doesn't mention abortion or gay marriage, but it goes on and on about forgiving debt, liberating the poor, and healing the sick. Christian nationalists like to say this is a Christian nation. Not only is that historically inaccurate, not only is that theologically blasphemous, but it's also just not true. Look around us. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would forgive student debt. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would guarantee healthcare to every single person. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would love all of our LGBTQ neighbors. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would make sure every child in this state and in this country was housed, fed, clothed, educated, and insured. If this was truly a Christian nation, we would never make it a Christian nation, because we know the table of fellowship is open to everybody, including our Buddhist, Hindu, Jewish, Muslim, Sikh, and atheist neighbors. Jesus could have started a Christian theocracy, but love would never do that. The closest thing we have to the kingdom of heaven is a multiracial, multicultural democracy where power is truly shared among all people, something that's yet to exist in human history.
Well, all right. So that was a pretty powerful statement for 5 minutes. Let me just throw this up here. Christianity versus Christian nationalism. Where is this pastor from? Let's see. Let me go back to the comments. Wait a minute. He said some things in there. Contrasts, comparing. When Constantine, or he said, was the first Christian nationalist. Well, we know what followed that. What? Used his power? A tool to control? Wow. You're guessing Texas. He certainly is in contrast to a number. I won't name the names of ministries or televangelists or pastors across this nation who I dare say would not even speak such things for fear that the funding could run dry, at least from a certain pipeline. If you get what I'm saying, and I know you do. Okay. Truth is, that's what it is. Truth is something that people say, speak the truth. But when it's spoken, People, some don't want to hear truth. Truth. Oh, I'm sure he's gotten a lot of pushback on that. Um, Interesting, but very passionate, I would say. Very boldly spoken. Very boldly spoken. He didn't stumble at all. He was very confident and speaking truth. This would be to power, wouldn't it be? Speaking truth to power, being an evangelist, speaking in the wilderness amongst mega churches, perhaps, or yes. Jennifer said he is speaking truth. Mega churches are a grift that radicalizes its members, while the pastors live in extreme wealth, which is also the antithesis of teachings of the Bible. The mega churches. And some of the wealth that's extreme is just put right out there. Now, I personally, if, like, for example, they were showing a picture of J.D. Vance's home, okay, $1.6 million. That's okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't get really, and by today's standards, depending on where you are in the market. But there is extreme wealth that Jennifer's talking about, like planes and bars of gold that have been found in the walls of bathrooms. I think that's maybe you're referring to that. Maybe jewelry that screams loudly. It's excessive. I mean, you got 10 fingers. Do you need 10 gold rings? I don't. Yeah. With mega churches, our offerings vary, to keep their, I guess, their mega churches, going with 2 and 3 services right after the other, and telecast, broadcast, commercialize, this and that. What would a mega church? I know what a mega church looks like. When does a church become a mega church? Mega preachers in Houston. Houston has, Texas has 2 of the leading mega churches, homes, I should say, of mega churches, mega wealth. Also, I mean, you could say the East Coast. Yeah. Is it because of the wealth that it's extreme, or is it what is taught and the distribution of it? Or lack thereof? Money in the walls. His home is bigger than an apartment complex, and so on. I haven't seen his home. I think yeah. Are you talking about, I think we're talking about Joel Osteen in this case. And there is the other big mega church. in Texas. Jennifer says J.D. Vance leans to the principles of Christian nationalism. So his hypocrisy of talking about faith is the issue, not necessarily the price of his home. I didn't think you were, for J.D. Vance, but it's his principles you're saying. Okay. Unfortunately, depending on where you live, exactly $1 million is not considered out of line for home prices. Now, it may not be obtainable for a lot of people, but real estate has gone through the roof. It has. It's probably going to cool down because of the interest rates and what is this, the new for realtors, the buyer's agent will no longer be paid. Yeah, I think it's the buyer's agent. You have the sellers and the buyers by the broker. Okay. That's probably going to cool down at least some of the prices and or discourage some of the newer realtors from becoming realtors because they used to get 5-6% on $1 million. That's 60 grand. And then split that. And maybe that was, maybe it only took one showing, or maybe it took 10 showings. It's all the same. Right? Yeah. Anyway, so it is Dallas. What is the name of the other big mega church in Texas? Y'all know. The pastor. Yep. That's it. Okay. Well, I appreciate you, Jennifer, for sharing that. That is certainly something that was worth listening to and hearing, from this, it appears, this young minister or pastor who shared that. Again, his name is Jeff Oster. Wonder what his site looks like. Or maybe he's sharing an article of someone else. I'm not sure. Okay, let me just throw this back up here. But thank you anyway, Jennifer. I appreciate that. All of you who send emails, we're right at 1:08. I think this might be a good place to end it for this morning. Yes, I've checked my mail. I can do it one last time, just real quick. I think we're good. We are. Yeah. There's more truth where that comes from and news. Yeah. Can't get it all in one session. All right. Oh, by the way, the DNC is coming up next Monday. So leading up to it, there are less than 5 days away, I think. All right. Biggest bear hugs go out to all the Grizzlies. Please hit the like on your way out. Send me an email if you'd like. Questions, comments, suggestions, or you simply want to say hello. Join me later tonight, right here, for Night Talk. Okay. That's it. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Teddy. Have a great Tuesday.
nights. And I don't really do dancing, but baby, I don't care. Cause there's something about you, and I want it. I could get you off my mind, but to tell the truth, I don't know how. Girl, you got me up all night, thinking about you. Got me staying up all night, yeah. Thinking about you. You think about me. Tell me how you're feeling, really wanna know. Cause every time you're with me, I'm terrified that you don't feel the same way as I do. But there's something about you, and I want it. I could get you off my mind, but to tell the truth, I don't know how. Girl, you get me up all night, thinking about you. Got me staying up all night, yeah. Thinking about you. Do you think about me? Girl, you got me up all night, thinking about you. Got me staying up all night, yeah. Thinking about you. Do you think about me?